everybody, and welcome to Laura Learns again. I'm sporting my new Creative Memories bling shirt that I just got from the retreat that I was at this weekend. Today I'm going to be showing you all things circles using our, I don't even know what it's called. What a demonstrator I am, right? It's a cutting tool. It cuts circles, it'll cut ovals, it'll cut rounded rectangles, things like that. Anyway, today I'm going to be showing you a few different things how to do that, and my club members are going to be using it as well. My beginners are just going to practice doing a circle if they want to, and my advanced members will try doing some loops and using a punch to go around a circle. So we'll see how that all goes. Anyway, I want to show you a few samples to get started. So we have a jumbo circle. So I have this on one side, and I've used my border maker punch underneath here and done it multiple times and integrated it. This layout could be done in totally different ways, and that's the cool thing about a layout. You can decide how you want it to look afterwards. And then I did the opposing side for this as well. So if I put the two together, I can do something like this, or like I said, I can flip and rotate them however I want to do it. So I have just cut out large circles from a designer paper and then loaded it all up. And on another layout, I have the inside circle used as well. So we'll look for that in a bit. I've also completed this layout. Again, this one is the inside of this one. So I cut the circle out of this one and put the circle on this one. I made what I'm referring to as a loop where there's two circle cuts to make the thin outer layer. And then I added different colors of papers here to give it a little bit more of a retro feel. A lot of this circle is covered up actually, but I think that's okay because you still get this cool idea on the edge here. Now I'm going to try and show you a few pages from my album as well while I'm here. So let's see if we can get this to show. I flagged a few pages with some circles. This must not be the right page because I don't see any circles on there. So here we go. This one just has one simple circle at the bottom. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Circles can sometimes just add what you need to finish your page off. This one is a little bit of a fancier layout, but I have two circles. On this side, I've got a rounded circle behind the photo of my friend Janice and I, and on this one, I have the text. They are the exact same page, really. They're just rotated like I had showed you earlier to give a little bit of a different look. And I don't see any circles on that page, so it must be this one. Here we go. These are the two inside circles from the designer paper that I had cut out before. Still looks like the other ones, but the circle is popping the other direction. And I've used my border punch, and I've used some cardstock on angles, which I got that idea from one of the printouts that I got from Creative Memories, which I really like. Now, a few other things that I want to show you. I made with a circle maker. I cut out circles like this. So I have an inside circle that went in here, but I also have what I'm referring to as the loop that would have been here. So I'm going to show you how to do all of that today. But then you have all of these things that you can be using and layering on a page somehow to give it some cool effects. But I also did it in two different colors so that I can layer and do different things like this if I want. I could use this as my photo, the blue as a frame, and then I could even put it back on blue if I want it. No, what? Would I do that? No, I probably wouldn't do that. Silly Laura. But I could do something like this. And so I want to take my page and I want to chunk it up. Like one corner of my page might be like this, and then beside it might be like this. So I just was cutting a whole bunch of things, and I just have a vision in mind, and now I have to bring it to life. So I'm going to hopefully do a page with these two shades of blue. Now, as well, I have used, beyond the actual circle cutting tool, I have just used some punches to make a border, and then used these. This was actually just 2 different punches that I used, but I can make circles this small with my circle cutting tool. And then I used the border punch, and then I flipped it over and did the border punch on the other side, and then I did the same thing on the darker brown, and I layered the 2 together. So I have this really big border, which I like. Then what I did is I made another circle, which I thought I could use and layer it like this if I want to put some kind of a sticker on here or something like that, or put a title on there. That would be pretty cool, I think. What I also did was cut some of the circles in half that match those colors so that I could take a photo. Let's say this is my photo, and then I could like add, you know, half of a circle or something underneath of this picture, or I could put it up at the top like this, just a little bit or something, you know, if I want to put a sticker or do something a little bit cool. So I made a bunch of things. So right now, just after playing with my circle cutter, I'm going to use this for hopefully 1-page layout. Then I'm going to use all of these ones that I've cut for hopefully a 2nd-page layout. And now I've been working on a 3rd layout, and I thought that would be what I show you how to do, because it's a little bit more complicated and it gives me a chance to show you how to use the cutting tool. So I'm going to just be showing you circles today, but like I said, we have different shapes as well. And so this is the template that you're going to be using. And there is a very cool acetate that you use that shows you different ring sizes on here. Let's see if I put paper behind this. There you go. You can see a little bit better now. So these ring sizes have different corresponding colors. There is a red ring, a blue ring, and a black ring. And there's also an outer ring and an inner ring. The inner ring is going to make you smaller circles, and you're going to use the inside track of the template to make anything that's coming on the inside of the circle. You're going to use the outside track to make anything that's on the outside of the circle. And depending on the color, you're going to decide which color of blade you need. So we've got a green blade, we have a red blade, and we have a blue blade. The new blades come with like a hexagon pattern. This is an old one. The hexagon makes it a little bit easier to hold on to because you've got flat sides instead of rounded edges, but I have not yet purchased my new one. Because I haven't purchased my new one, I've been noticing my red blade is a little bit dull, and so this one definitely needs to be replaced. The blue one I've been finding still works great, so I can buy them individually. So this one I'm probably gonna have to buy a new one for right away. This one I can hang on to for a while. And the green one I haven't used too much yet, so I'll have to figure out if I need a new one of those or not. So anyway, what I want to show you is this. So I cut 3 circles to make a border, and then I cut 3 loops to go around them as frames. Then I just took an extra tiny little strip of this blue and put it over here, and I just left a little gap over here to leave a little bit of the pink. Now what I can do is decide how I want to use the rest of my page. So I've got photos like this. Oh, here they are over here. This that I might mat in this blue, might use my border punch. I can push it over to the edge if I want to and have some space over here to put a word. I'll be able to decide what I want to do, but I want to show you how to do this trio of photos. Now again, you could have done it this way if you wanted and had your photos facing the other direction, or you could have even put words in here or just stickers in here. Anything would have been cool, and you probably couldn't make these circles a whole lot bigger, but you could make them smaller if you wanted to. So what I have is my base piece of paper, and then I am using what they call, I think, a 0 center ruler or something like that. They don't currently sell this in the catalog right now. I'll show you again with the background, which is just nice because it really helps with the measuring. So often Creative Memories will come up with these like pop-up, they call them buffets, and they put products in there that they don't carry all of the time. And so I really recommend you take a look when they have those buffets. They just had an adhesive buffet, and that's where I got the colored cases for the adhesive. So green is for repositionable tape, and it just makes it a lot easier to recognize than this blue with the green on the inside, right? I think anyway, because your other case is blue normally anyway. So when this came up, I bought the set of colored ones so that I could distinguish between them much easier. So I've been told anyway that they have these buffets come up multiple times in a year where they sell some of their products individually. So like the anti-stick powder, for example, was something they didn't carry all the time. This ruler, I believe they don't carry all the time, but if you have a chance to buy it, I would. I was gifted it by my new friend Lori at the retreat. So thanks and a shout out to Lori for helping me out with that. So what I did first was I measured on here where the center was going to be this direction, and then where the center of 3 different circles was going to be on this page. So I'm gonna have to turn my camera around so that you guys can see me. Okay, the first thing I measured was from this edge to this edge, and I wanted this to be a nice even number for me, which is how I ended up with that little strip on the side, because I cut that strip off to make it super easy for me to work. Now this one looks almost like a little bit thicker than that last one, but that's okay. I'm gonna get my handy dandy cutter and line up those 2 marks. I'm looking at this dotted line here, or I can move the track. There's a track up at the top and a track down at the bottom. I just discovered this in my advisor retreat. And so there's lines on there that will show you where it's going to be cutting. So now I've got to press down in order to cut. And that's not too bad. I'm gonna keep this strip in case I want to use it like I did on that other side. And I can put my cutter away for now. Then I'm gonna grab my ruler again and my pencil. And now that I've done this, nice, I'm just gonna put 2 squares on this side, 2 squares on this side, which leaves 1 square in the middle. There's 2 here and 2 here, so I'm making my half line right there. So that's super easy for me to visualize. If you're not a numbers person, you can just count 1, 2, and then I did another 2, and I drew my line there. And then I'm just gonna connect these 2 lines with a very light line so that I know where my middle is, because that's where I'm gonna wanna place my circle templates. Bing, boom. Now I wanted to have 3 circles here, and I know this is 12 inches, so 3 times 4 is 12. So I've got 4 of these per square. So let's flip this to the right way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go on this end here. 1, 2, 3, 4, draw a line. 1, 2, 3, 4, draw a line. I'm gonna do the same on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect my 2 lines. Just very lightly. It doesn't really matter actually, because in the end I just flip the lines over so they were on the back. So very faintly now, I've got lines on this page where I want my circles to be in the middle of. Now, I still don't have a center for my circle, so I can do that if I want to, or I can just guess. That's up to you. So for me, lots of times I guess. So I would place this about in the center of here. I already know this is the one I want because this is the one I used last time. So if I put this template on here, I can see how big it's going to be. So this is the red ring, the green ring, and the blue ring on here. Put this paper behind so you can see again. So for me, I want the smaller circle that's in the center. So I know I'm going to be going on the inside track of my round circle when I do it. So I know I'm going to be going in this track here, and not this track here, so upside down. Then I know I want to make a ring, so I want to do the blue one and the red one so that I have about that thick of a loop in the end. I think if I did green and blue, it might be just a little bit too thin. I know you guys are getting glare, sorry. So I don't really need the template now that I know which one of these that I'm going to be using, the inside track. And like I said, I can guess here. I can kind of go, okay, the outside of this loop is on this far line. The outside of this loop is on this far line. The outside of this one is over there. The outside of this one's over here. This is way off balance, so I can see that this is going to be way bigger. So I know I have to pull it this way until both of these halves look sort of equal. Again, the line is right here if you can see it. But if you want to find the exact half, then again, I'm going to go down like this. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so I know I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go here. And this way you will have an actual center point to try to connect to. Very light. Center is going to be right there. Okay, and I can do this on both sides. 1, 2. 1, 2. And again, if you don't have a ruler like this, obviously you're just going to use a regular ruler with inch measurements or centimeters, or you know, however big you want it to be. I'm going to connect these two. Draw a little circle here just to help me indicate that that's the center line and not the outside line. Just helps me keep track. I could have done dotted lines, I guess that would have helped. And circle line. Now I'm going to take my big circle, and this is where it gets fun. Okay, I'm going to start with the inside circle. So now I am still eyeballing it. However, I have 4 quarters now, so it really helps me figure out exactly what I want to be doing. I'm going to take these 2 little feet and I'm going to put them on the inside of this track so that the blade is running on the inside here. So get this lined up so those look about equal. I'm going to put those little feet so that I can tell it's going to move around the track like this, and then I have to really hold this down, because if I don't, it's gonna move and I am not gonna have a circle, and I'm gonna have screwed the pooch and it's not gonna have worked. So you really do have to be very careful about that part. So here we go. You guys ready? Along the track. Yes, you have to shift your hands, which is why you have to hold on to this thing really tight. My blue one works pretty good, so I'm not worried about going over it twice. It should have popped out. Oh, look at that. Nice. There, see? And now I have the circles, so I can take all those circles that I cut from the previous one. Okay, these are what I cut from other pages that I was doing. And you can see on the back is the line, so I just use the other side, and I can use that as a mat for a circle, or I can make a page full of bubbles, whatever I want. Now, I want to make the hoop or loop or whatever you want to call it, the frame. So again, I want this to look even on all 4 sides. I want to still use the inside track. I want to put my little feet in there so that it's moving. And then I'm going to press down on this real hard, and I'm going to go over it, and I'm going to go back because I know my red blade doesn't work as good. That was my blue blade. It needs to be replaced. Oh yeah. And now I have a frame. The only thing I did wrong, can you guys tell me? I was supposed to make this in pink, not blue. So all I did was essentially make that hole bigger, right? Because I cut this out first and then I did this. So I mean, now I can do something cool if I want with all of these. Or now that I've done this once, what I could do is I could do a pink template like this, and I could do blue frames. So it is the opposite of what I did on this side. Sometimes making mistakes gives you different options. Let's be real. So I've got some decisions I can make now. I can do that same process here 2 more times and get 2 more blue holes, but then I have to make them larger, which means the frame would have to be larger, which I would have to use a different circle, so that might get a little more complicated for me. Or I could decide I'm going to use this on a different page, start over with pink and use the blue frames. Now I got options. I don't mind options actually. So anyway, I know that wasn't the most clear video you've probably ever be able to see on Creative Memories where you're using the circles, but I'm learning, and so hopefully you're learning while I'm learning. And like I said, I'm going to order a new one of these because it's getting a little dry. I'm going to come up with some layouts to use these extra little circles I have, to use these circles that I have, and to use the brown circles and half circles that I made. So stay tuned because I've got more circle pages coming at you, and this week my scrapbooking club is hopefully going to experiment with circles if they feel ready for it. And if they do, I will be sure to share their photos with you on my website. Anyway, I hope you have subscribed to the YouTube channel and to my website. I have 3 new blog posts up since I recently sent out an email for those of you who have subscribed to that. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying all the content. Let me know what you guys would like to see.